We are continuing the celebration of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson's birthday. He turned 100 years old on Monday. He's a Tuskegee Airman, wonderful pilot who escorted bombers on 18 missions. He was a POW. When he was freed, he went back to see some of the atrocities that the Nazis did, and he has traveled back and forth to France and to other places to meet with those soldiers who, like him, helped save the world. We're going to start by bringing on someone who is literally a civil rights legend. He is the pastor at Fellowship Chapel, but he is the president of the NAACP and a strong supporter of freedom and everyone else who believes that we deserve the world that we have. So please welcome Reverend Wendell Anthony.
Thank you, Rochelle. Let me commend Rochelle Riley and all those who helped to bring this together, particularly from the City of Detroit's Culture Center Department, and we want to thank them and acknowledge them. And I don't mind being drowned out by the flyovers because they have been flying over and protecting us for many, many years. Today we're here to celebrate history and a living legend. Let's give him a hand, a living legend, Colonel Jefferson, and we want to thank and acknowledge him for all that he has done. This lieutenant colonel, who was one of the first African-American men to participate as a pilot in combat in World War II. They literally had to fight to get in the war. They had to fight while they were in the war. And they had to fight again against discrimination when they got out of the war. And so we thank you, the Tuskegee Airmen, whose motto was spit fire. And they indeed spat fire in the eyes of Nazi Germany and all those who protected them. And it's interesting that they had to fight to get in, but once they got in and they started protecting everybody, everybody wanted them to protect them because they knew that the Tuskegee Airmen didn't take no stuff, and they shot down and they protected those who did not protect and defend them. Ain't that something? They protected those who did not defend and protect them. So we thank God for this legendary colonel, graduate of Chelsea High School, prisoner of war, who never forgot from whence he has come. And we thank God that we're living today to witness this history, this centenarian who has laid down his life for so many. And so we pause for a word of prayer and to give thanks in this season of Thanksgiving. Oh God, we thank you for the life of this great lieutenant colonel. We thank you for the sacrifice that he and so many others have made for this nation, which is often not sacrificed for them. We thank you, Almighty God, for the ones who have gone on to glory, and yet for this one who continues to tell the story, the old story of sacrifice, of spitting fire, of protecting and defending and standing up for a nation and for freedom and democracy and respect and dignity. We thank you for this lieutenant colonel on his 100th birthday. Bless him from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Continue to order his path and give him good strength and power and prosperity and grace over the course of his life. Bless his family and his friends. Bless all those who are connected with Tuskegeeism. Continue to render your grace upon them. And bless this, our city, that has the boldness to reflect and to remember and to honor those who've often been termed as the least of these, but who've given most of their service. As we stand here in remembrance of this Mayor Coleman Alexander Young, the namesake of this airport, the namesake who himself was a Tuskegee Airman, we thank you for allowing us to be here on this day. Bless us in this season of Thanksgiving. Let us know that we're not what we ought to be until our people everywhere are what they should be in every area of productive living. Let those who love God, who are called for his purpose for every good and beautiful thing, all say, amen.
We now have a special presentation from a captain from Delta Airlines who also is someone who knows the Lieutenant Colonel very personally. Please welcome Captain Stephanie Johnson.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. It's such a pleasure and an honor for me to be a part of this celebration today. Lieutenant Colonel Jefferson is someone who I admire. I've been lifted up by the Tuskegee Airmen since the beginning of my aviation career. I started flying in Cleveland, Ohio, and the North Coast chapter was my home chapter. And just the inspiration and the example that the airmen and their supporters have been to me, it's the reason that I'm standing here in this uniform today. And it's the reason that I'm so happy to celebrate Lieutenant Colonel Alex Jefferson. When I met him, we were doing career days, career weeks here in Detroit during Black History Month. And it was so incredible to see how the children engaged when he started telling his story. And all of us were just in awe watching him tell his story. So I want to today read a letter that I've been able to bring and share from our Vice President of Flight Operations, our System Chief Pilot at Delta Airlines, because when the airmen left service for the country as great aviators, they were not able to be aviators in commercial aviation here. And so on behalf of our company, I want to read this letter for him on his behalf. Dear Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson, on behalf of more than 80,000 aviation professionals at Delta Airlines, I wish you a joyous 100th birthday. You are a remarkable example of determination, grit, and service to community and country. Your years of service in the United States Army as an officer in the Tuskegee Airman 332nd Fighter Group are honored and revered. It is with deepest respect for this service and your years as a distinguished aviator that we present to you Delta Airlines Pilot Wings and humbly consider you an honorary captain. It is a true honor to extend this designation to you. At Delta, our culture is rooted in a shared commitment to living our values: honesty, integrity, respect, perseverance, and servant leadership. Your decades of selfless service protecting our country, and even more decades shaping the education and future of Detroit's youth, are a testament of your dedication to these same values. Thank you for your unwavering servant leadership in the flight deck, classroom, and community, and for your quiet strength to overcome incredible challenges as a prisoner of war and as a victim of prejudice. We are so grateful to you for being willing to serve, sacrifice your life to protect our great nation, and shape generations of future aviators. So I will be presenting Lieutenant Colonel Jefferson these wings. And a birthday card, because it's his birthday.
Let's give Captain Stephanie Johnson another hand. Thank you so much for bringing that from Delta Airlines, the only airline I fly. Oops. Oh, thanks, Audrey. I'd now like to share with you and Lieutenant Colonel Jefferson. Thank you. The Lieutenant Colonel is in charge. We do not tell him what to do. Lieutenant Colonel Jefferson, I'm going to read you a letter that came from the Rhone Valley Memorial and Historical Aviation Society in France. It's short. It says, an exceptional and very happy birthday to our 100-year-old hero. Alexander, we all remember you so well here thanks to your many trips to France to be at our memorial commemorations, along with the late Colonel Ron Albers. And I don't forget that unplanned visit you made bailing out from your P-51 near Toulon. Here's a picture of you. They sent that. I'll give it to you, Colonel. I took about 10 years ago at a newly inaugurated memorial. We are still dedicated to keeping the memory alive of all the Allied aviators and crew who helped deliver Europe from Nazi occupation, lest we forget. And Alexander, one thing for sure, we at ARSA and all your friends here won't ever forget you. Brian John F. Millar, President, ARSA, France. At this point, I just want to recognize that we have our new council member, whose name will be familiar because we're at the airport that bears his father's name, Coleman Alexander Young, Jr. Thank you for coming and helping us to celebrate. We appreciate you. And I'm now going to bring up Ken Thomas, the president of Tuskegee Airman Detroit chapter, who has a presentation.
What an honor to help celebrate the 100th birthday of such a great man. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson, 100 years old. Can you believe it? 100 years old. There must be something that they've done right. A lot of these Tuskegee Airmen have lived to be 100 years old. I don't know what it is that they're doing, but I'd like to follow in their footsteps. Past blue ribbon, he says. Now, Colonel Alexander recognized 50 years ago that he needed to get the other Tuskegee Airmen together and have camaraderie and form chapters. So in 2022, next year, will be the 50th anniversary of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander and his group getting together in his basement here in Detroit to start the chapters. And now we have around 52 chapters around the country. My name is Ken Thomas. I'm the president of the Detroit chapter. And we would like to present Lieutenant Colonel Alexander this Certificate of Excellence. And it reads as follows: for your personal effort and support of the mission of the Detroit chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated. And it is signed by several of the other Tuskegee Airmen. So,
actually, the Lieutenant Colonel is asking the folks who made a presentation to please join him, so he will have those folks who spoke. So this is just for folks who made a presentation. Captain Johnson, if you did not come up to the podium and speak, please wait. He wants those folks who made a presentation. Reverend Anthony, Captain Johnson. I'd also, Lieutenant Colonel, I know you don't like me to tell you what to do, but where's Captain Stewart? Captain Harry Stewart is here, ladies and gentlemen, a true hero, Tuskegee Airman, one of the best, fellow pilot. We'd like him to get in this photo as well. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Colonel. First Top Gun, Harry Stewart. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, this is history being made here in Detroit. 50 years of Tuskegee Airmen Detroit, 100 years of excellence. And Lieutenant Colonel Harry Stewart, I think, might be a year older. I'm sorry? He's 97? 97 on the 4th of July. Okay, but we will celebrate 4th of July as well. So we want to thank them so much for this moment. Thank them so much for their service. We would not be America without them. Thank you. We're going to take 10 more seconds of photos, and then I want him back in the car, even if I have to put him there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now we're going to be starting the parade, which means everyone over here is going to have to come over here because the cars are going to be coming right through here. You need to move the cameras, the people, everybody. We are ready for the parade. ladies and gentlemen, we also want to thank Senator Gary Peters, whose staff member Corey Wofford came and brought this amazing letter for him. As an American service member and distinguished Tuskegee Airman, you defended our country and our ideals with bravery and selflessness. You did not know the perils you might face. You simply answered the call of duty. It is my pleasure to join you. And he is an honorary Tuskegee Airman, by the way, so Senator Gary Peters. And we want to thank Corey for bringing that. We also have a beautiful tribute from Black United Fund of Michigan. He has seen both of them, and we wanted to make sure to thank him.